Hey, Daily Bible Time, Wednesday morning, Dominic Steele, and a fascinating statement in the Gospel of Mark that I'm pretty sure I've not got to the bottom of yet, but I'm going to give you the various interpretations that are floating around, and I promise you I'll have done more work on it by the time I open it up on a couple of Sundays' time at Village Church. Here's some options to ponder today. The verse is Mark 11, verse 22, and Jesus replied to them, "Have faith in God. Truly, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, be lifted up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believes what he says will happen, it will be done for him." Now, here's what a couple of different commentators say. James Fawcett and Brown, in their commentary, they say, here's the lesson. From the nature of the case supposed, they might wish a mountain removed and cast into the sea, a thing so far removed from anything which could actually, they could be thought to actually desire. It's plain that it's not physical, but it's moral obstacles to the progress of his kingdom. They were in the Redeemer's view, and what he designed to teach them was the great lesson that no obstacle should be able to stand before continuing faith, confiding faith in God. You've got to trust him. Now, okay, there's a view. A hyperbolic view, and trust God. Edwards, little different. He says just south of Jerusalem there's the fortress of Herodion, one of the many citadels that Herod the Great had built, and Herod had actually literally removed a whole hill, the base of which is still visible today, in order to surround this citadel of Herodion with a rounded earthquake. And so on this view, Jesus is saying, look, anyone who believes in God, you can move a greater mountain even than Herodion. You'll be even greater than Herod, be able to do greater things than Herod, and you'll be able to do it. And you say, okay, well, there's another view. I think the problem with that is that the key to understanding it is actually outside the scriptures, and so I'm not really sure about that one. Craig Evans, though, he's very interesting and helpful in his commentary. This mountain, he suggests, could refer to the Mount of Olives, and I showed you a photo of me standing on the Mount of Olives looking over Jerusalem yesterday on Daily Bible Time. I'll put it up again now. Now, in favour of this suggestion is the setting of the saying could be on or near the Mount of Olives as while Jesus is speaking, and if you remember back to Zechariah, I mean, it's not very far from Jerusalem to the Mount of Olives. You remember back to Zechariah 14, verse 4, on that day his feet shall stand on the Mount of Olives, which lies before Jerusalem on the east, and to the Mount of Olives, which will be split in two from east to west by a very wide valley, so that one half of the mount shall withdraw northward, and the other half southward. Where are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain. And so there's a prediction back in Zechariah 4 of a judgment, and commentators have taken this position. A whole stack of commentators have taken that position. But the mountain Jesus referred to, as Evans notes, may also have been the Temple Mount. And because he's saying, destroy this mountain, remove this mountain, throw this mountain away. And he's just actually done that clearing of the temple, and we saw that meant the judgment on the temple. And so Evans says he thinks that the context for Jesus speaking here is the temple, and Jesus is saying, throw away this mountain. If you want to throw away this mountain into the sea. And I mean, of course, what's going to happen in the next few verses, Jesus is going to come back into the temple, be challenged by the ruling priests. They'll demand by what authority he's done this clearing of the temple. And why shouldn't this mountain refer to Israel's most famous mountain, on which is situated the temple establishment with which Jesus has come into serious conflict? And I think that's a very attractive theory. And of course, the reference to throwing the mountain in the sea is not really literal. It's much more got to do, I think, with the protracted controversy between Jesus and the establishment. I think that interpretation probably is the best interpretation. So what we have here has got to do with mountain removal rather than mountain moving, which is the activity with the Old Testament background, and that's got to do with the promised day of salvation as well as the transformation of the world. But we'll have more to say on it in church in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for joining us on Daily Bible Time today.